It's a simple. But thank you. Good night.
We now pick up at part 3, where Denzel is in a room at Carnegie's place. As you can look at the screen, you can see a poster advertising a movie called A Boy and His Dog. This film came out in 1975 with Don Johnson, and it's about a post-apocalyptic tale based on a novel by Harlan Ellison. A boy communicates telepathically with his dog as they scavenge for food and sex, and they stumble into an underground society where the old society is preserved. The daughter of one of the leaders of the community seduces and lures him below, where the citizens have become unable to reproduce because of being underground so long. They use him for impregnation purposes and then plan to be rid of him. And also to take in consideration, the poster says the year is 2024, a future you'll probably live to see. Now, we know a lot of these movies have esoteric and subliminal messages in them, but 2024 is just around the corner, 2 years from now. So we'll see what happens in that year.
I'll send Salar.
You can't do that.
Also, as we can see with Gary Oldman or Carnegie, that the woman is a possession. It's not to be sexist, but we have to remember that in the days of antiquity, the woman was considered a possession of the father, and then possession was exchanged through the husband. But in this modern time, a lot of the old practices and old traditions of what a wife and daughter is pretty much non-existent. But the woman is a property of the man. You know, your wife, your daughter, your family is your property. So now we see Eli sitting and reading the book. Now, what does the scripture say about reading day and night? Doesn't it say that we're supposed to meditate on the word day and night? I believe that's in the book of Psalms chapter 1, verse 2. But the delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. And that's our power. That's how the Most High talks to us. That's how we get instruction. That's when we need comfort. And that's why we meditate on it day and night. Now, I know life, family, your girlfriend, your wife, many distractions in this life. But meditation is definitely reading. So now we're going to go to the etymology of the word meditate. 1580s, to ponder, think abstractly, engage in mental computation, probably a back formation from meditation, or else from Latin meditus, past participle of meditare, to meditate, think over, reflect, consider, frequentive form of pi root med, take appropriate measures from 1590s as to plan in the mind, also to employ the mind in thought or contemplation, especially in a religious way. So Eli was basically making an invocation, a petition to God, the Most High, for aid or comfort, invocation, prayer, or for wisdom and guidance. Just like we need in our everyday lives, we need guidance, per se.
I've got everything I need.
You sure about that?
I think there's an old saying that the so-called black man's kryptonite is the so-called white woman or Caucasian woman. But we see here, she is a bed wench, like the original state was in the medieval dark ages. So-called white women were the bed wenches, the ones that were giving it up, per se. Historically, bed wench was a low status concubine, often a slave or captive. In this movie, her and her mother are captive, okay, to Carnegie. And also it says African American, but we know that name is made up. When we look back at old history, when we ruled Europe, the so-called Caucasian or white women were the bad wenches of that time period. They will never talk about that. Quiet is kept.
I'm Solara.
Right. You filled my canteen downstairs.
Yeah. You're the walker, right?
Now, why would she call him a walker? What is she implying? In this scene, we know Denzel is a day walker. I think that's in 1 Thessalonians 5:5, but we'll read 4. But you brothers are not in the darkness, so that this day should overtake you like a thief. For you are all sons of the light and sons of the day. We do not belong to the night or to the darkness. So then let us not sleep as the others do, but let us remain awake and sober. And light meaning that we are searching constantly of knowledge and for the truth. Of course, we'll never have 100% the truth, but we're seeking and searching for the Most High, putting Him first.
Why don't you take a seat?
You know what's funny about this scene? Like even in modern times, sex is used to galvanize man's emotions and to think with low vibrations, especially with our lower head. But, you know, as we get older as men, you know, we start to develop more a consciousness of our surroundings, knowing who we are, knowledge of self, and to know that sex isn't everything. Yes, we are men, but also when we're striving and we're searching and we're on a light path, you know, sex is not of the importance. And it's not to say that you don't want it every now and then, but the bigger picture is at hand. You know, our purpose, our focus. You know, too many times the woman is a distraction in a lot of men's life. I mean, that was Adam's fall. He followed after the woman, then in the Most High. So, what does that tell you? That we know that Satan works through the woman. Women are emotional creatures. They're unstable most of the time.
Carnegie.
He's your father.
No. No, but we belong to him just the same.
Ding ding. Like I said earlier in the video, she is a possession, property of Carnegie, her and her mother, slaves, concubines, woman of low stature.
30 winters since the flash. I really don't remember.
Do you remember what it was like? I mean, in the world before?
Yeah.
Well, what was it like?
People had more than they needed.
If we look at our current condition, our current society, this is definitely true sentiments. We definitely do not cherish or take in consideration of the plentiful things that we have here or the things that are easily accessible. Before integration, a lot of so-called black people were more prominent in doing for self, as far as making clothes, shoes. You had certain towns in different parts of America. Our people were very diverse with different skill sets that made a community. Everyone had to play their part, which made, you know, prominent cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Oscarville, 1912, and Rosewood in Florida, among many others.
You have a book. Can I see it?
No, you cannot.
I just
No.
want to look at it.
I said no.
Listen, I can't even read. Come on, please let me just see it. What is with you? It is just a book.
It's not just a book.
You know what's funny? When she says it's just a book. You know, among the atheists, among the people who believe the book is a fairy tale, they don't understand that the book is a historical book, first and foremost, but a book of the Hebrews, the Israelites, or the Shemitic peoples, and their, actions and dealings with the surrounding nations. And the Bible, or the Torah, is an exclusive book. It was written by Hebrews. Remember the old clothing line? It was a brother, I forgot his name, but the name of the clothing line was FUBU, for us, by us. It's no different than the scriptures. It was meant for a certain people, a bloodline. So that's exclusive, not inclusive. So that's why they had to set up churches, different organizations, because that book has power. It can galvanize many people to give them hope, faith, something to live for. I mean, if they wanted to destroy it, they could have, but they didn't. But now, brothers and sisters are waking up to the truth and bringing forth real testimony and what the book is really saying and how their demise is only imminent.
What do you mean it's not just a book?
Look, no more questions about the book, all right? No more questions. All right?
If we look at the book of Ecclesiasticus 12 and 13, it says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." As we can see in this clip, he guards that book like it's his life because he's on a mission. We all have our mission here on this plane or this realm.
Close your eyes. Dear Lord, we thank you for this meal. We thank you for...
Prayer is always necessary. If we look at the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and 18, it says, "Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplications for all saints," meaning the Israelites. Luke 18 and 1, "And he spoke a parable unto them to this end, that man ought always to pray and not to faint." 1 Thessalonians 5 and 17, "Pray without ceasing. Always give thanks and honor and glory to the Most High." First and foremost.
warm bed and a roof over our head on cold nights such as this.
I don't know what has some kind of thing on the phone.
Show me.
I need you to let her go.
Show me!
So now we pick up later in the movie where she's saying a prayer, and Kaneki notices that she is saying a prayer that's in reference to the Holy Scriptures, the Bible per se. But what is she throwing up? It looks like an X or a cross. You know, the cross or the X is also a symbol for Osiris, the god of the dead, resurrection. So we have to ask ourselves, is the cross a Christian symbol? The cross is recognized as one of the most important symbols of the Roman Catholic Church. It displays on top of roofs and towers. It is seen on altars, furnishings, and ecclesiastical garments. The early Christians did not consider the cross on which Jesus or Yeshua died a virtuous symbol, but rather a cursed tree. And we find this many times in the scriptures where he was hung on a tree. I think it's in Acts 5 and 30, also in Acts 10 and 39. If the cross is a Christian symbol, it cannot be correctly said that its origin is within Christianity, for in one form or another, it was a sacred symbol long before the Christian era and among many non-Christian people. According to an expository dictionary of New Testament words, it originated among the Babylonians of ancient Chaldea. The ecclesiastical form of a two-beamed cross had its origin in ancient Chaldea and was used as a symbol of the god Tammuz, being in the shape of a mystic two, the initial of his name in that country and the adjacent lands, including Egypt. In order to increase the prestige of the apostate ecclesiastical system, pagans were received into the churches apart from regeneration by faith and were permitted largely to retain their pagan signs and symbols. Hence the toe or tau or T in its most frequent form with the cross piece lowered was adopted to stand for the cross of Christ.
Shit. He was here the whole night.
Where is he?
I don't.
What is the old saying? There's no honor among thieves. So he was indisposable anyway.
Is that thing loaded? I don't think it's loaded.
One way to find out.
Look, I need that book. I mean, I want the book. And you, but if you make me choose, I'll kill you. I'll take the book.
Why? Why do you want it?
I grew up with it. I know its power. If you read it, then so do you.
So why does Carnegie want the book? He knows that the book is powerful. It can galvanize people, give them hope, give them something to live for. But also, he says to Denzel or Eli, you know its power too, because we also know in Hebrew, Eli means high or elevated, meaning my Elohim or my God, as were the prophets Elijah, Eliezer, and Elijah. Okay, so this is the so-called black man's God, the God of Israel, the God of the Hebrews, the God of Shem, the Shemitic peoples. Okay?
That's why they burned them all after the war.
What is he implying when he said they burned all the books, the Bibles, the Holy Scriptures? Is he implying that the book, the prophecies are true? Who the real biblical people are, the so-called Negroes scattered among the four corners of the earth? You know, there's a book called The Nazis, World War II by the author Edwin Hertzstein. In an interview, and quote, Hitler said even in his death he will start World War III. One of the soldiers asked how. Hitler replied, the day mankind finds out what I was trying to defend this nation, Germany, from then, that's the day World War III will start. For on that day, mankind will learn that I was trying to save my nation from the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and the Jews. For if the Americans win the war, they will conquer the world and forever be a slave to the Jews, and they will try to conquer the Most High. Do you know who America has in its possessions? No, the soldier replied. The Americans have the jewels of God. The Americans have stolen God's precious jewels. What do you mean, his precious jewels? The soldier asked.
A lot of times what these youngsters don't know, you know, when they talk about just, like, when they talk about Jews, people, you gotta realize, the first Jews were black.
Jews.
Yes.
Not Israelites.
The Jews.
Yeah.
The Jews. The Jews were black.
Right.
All around just in the U.S., I mean, in the U.S. right now, the Jews got all the Jews.
Right. Right.
The Jews still all the Jews.
Hitler said America has stolen the Jews of God, his jewelry, the Negroes. They are the true Hebrews. What a foolish move and a direct challenge to the Most High. And they plan on moving these false white Jews into a state of Israel. America is desperate in its attempts to win this war. Using atom bombs on Japan, America will destroy the whole world in its attempt to conquer it. When America, its Jewish slave masters, conquer the world, and the world realize I was right, then all the nations will begin a third war to dethrone America of its rule. Every nation will soon possess bombs of their own. It will be the end of the world as we know it. Why will the Jews control America? The soldier asked. Hitler said because the white Jews know that the Negroes are the real children of Israel, And to keep America secret, the Jews will blackmail America. They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they were. The white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel. They will fear the Most High, will destroy them as he destroyed Egypt for doing the same thing. So the elite, the Illuminati, keeps this a secret at all costs. After I die, I will one day cause World War III just by this message, which will be like planting a seed in a people's minds until it sprouts once they nurture that seed and seek more truth and learn Hitler was right. So in history, we know that a lot of historical figures, prominent politicians or people in history, a lot of their quotes are taken out or omitted, just like certain scriptures in the Bible per se. So nothing is truly accurate. It's mostly based on narratives in the society. You're not taught the truth. They cannot teach the truth because the truth is not in them.
But if we had that book, I wouldn't have to. Imagine how different, how righteous this little world could be if we had the right words for our faith. Well, people would truly understand why they're here and what they're doing, and they wouldn't need any of the uglier motivations. It's not right to keep that book hidden away. It's meant to be shared with others. It's meant to be spread.
The Bible is an exclusive book. It's based on the stories and testimonies of the prophets and the people of Yashar'el, or the children of Israel and their descendants. It's not an inclusive book. But the heathens, the other nations, knew its power, and they made all these different religion sects and so forth, and pretty much bastardized not the book, but its true origins, true meaning, interpolations, a lot of omissions, etc. But the book is about the so-called Negroes, the people that are scattered through captivity, like in America or Babylon. This is our power, and we need to go back to it.
Is that what you want?
From all my heart and soul. I always believed that I'd find a place where this book belonged, where it was needed. I haven't found it yet.
So we see the bullet missed him. Why is that? Psalms 18:2-3. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. I will call upon the Most High, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies.
What are you standing around for? Take them out, goddammit! Take them out!
So now we have the shootout with Denzel and Carnegie's henchmen. Now we know when the Most High is on your side, you cannot fail. So we go to Psalms 144:1, a psalm of David. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. Verse 2, my goodness and my fortress, my high tower, which is the Most High, and my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I trust, whom subdueth my people under me. Verse 3, Lord, what is a man that thou takest knowledge of him, or the son of man that thou makest account of him? Now this is attested to in the scriptures in 1 Kings 22:23. Now therefore, behold, the Most High has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Most High has spoken evil concerning thee. So the Most High controls the left and the right hand side, good and evil. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7. I make peace, I create darkness, I create good and evil. I, the Most High, do all these things. So he changed his heart and let him go. So we know that the Most High is omnipotent, meaning a deity having unlimited power, able to do anything, right? Oh yeah, by the way, we are just here in this realm, bonded by atoms and molecules, our soul, our spirit. There is a spiritual realm, but most people are empty vessels. That's why they're easily to be possessed or things happen to them, per se.
I don't like being followed.
I want to come with you.
No, you don't.
I hate it here. Oh,
Then change it.
my mother thinks I'll be safer with you.
So what did her mother mean by she would be safer with him? We find the scripture in Zechariah 8:23. Thus says the Most High, or the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you.